FF8 commentary. Yes! Final Fantasy VIII! I've been waiting for some fucking Final Fantasy. Holy goddamn shit, man. You have no, what is it, 170 fucking videos it took to get Final Fantasy? My god, man. Oh, I've been dying to talk about this fucking game. Anyway, FF8 commentary number 170, Assassin of Elite. Why did you call yourself Elite Assassin? Why you gotta call yourself an Assassin of Elite? I sent in Final Fantasy VIII, and I'm just gonna say this right now. This is the most underappreciated Final Fantasy game of them all, between this one and Final Fantasy IX. But this one catches the most flack out of anything. He gonna try and do the 10-minute challenge. He knows how quick the hip-hop commentaries are. You know, he noticed he didn't pick the 20, 30, 40-minute challenge of this motherfucker. But anyway, what's going on right now in the background? Squall's got to go in with his teacher, Quistis and shit, who wants to jump his bones and whatnot. She's like dying to get laid by her student. That shit should be fucking illegal. But anyway, he got to go beat his guardian force, Ifrit, up in this mother. I don't know how to pronounce the damn names. Ifrit, I don't know, whatever the fuck. You're gonna see this big ass fucking fiery motherfucker. You're gonna see him in probably the end of the video up in this bitch. I assume that will be the end of the video. Hopefully he beats that son of a bitch. But anyway, he chose to do the 10-minute time limit challenge, and obviously you can see they're going to be the random battles and shit like that. But Final Fantasy VIII. Oh man, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for this shit. Now, like I said, man, this is one of the most underappreciated games of all time. The reason why it's so underappreciated is because right before this was Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII, regardless of what people are going to say about the motherfucker, it is the most important game to the Final Fantasy franchise. I don't care what people say it's the best. I don't care if they say it's horrible, if it was hard to understand. It is the most important part of the Final Fantasy franchise. It put Sony PlayStation on the map. Without that damn game, you know, Sony would just had a regular console. But when they took Final Fantasy off cartridge-based Nintendo and put that on disc-based, people saw the power of the Sony PlayStation, and that was the one game that pretty much set it off. We also had the most famous scene in Final Fantasy VII, of course, with Sephiroth and all that other bullshit. But mainly, this game that came out after that had such high expectations to live up to. I mean, you gotta realize, coming after Final Fantasy VII, that ain't fucking easy, man. You know, so this game had to come out, and it had to come out with something excellent. And when it came out, you know, Final Fantasy VII has some cute shit. You know, you had that, what was that motherfucker, the Kate C, or whatever that his name is, you know, the one with the cat on the big fat marshmallow and shit like that. You had the dog up in that motherfucker, you had a vampire, you had all kinds of weird shit in that fucking game. Then this comes out, and you get all these damn emo teenagers and shit like that. And I gotta tell you, man, one of the problems I had with this fucking game, as much as I like it, is the goddamn characters. Oh my god. The emo teenagers up in this motherfucker just basically ruined it. This guy, Squall, man, he ain't got no goddamn personality. For the whole game, he had two women trying to jump his bones, and he's like, oh, I don't really give a shit about you. It's like, come on, man, how you not gonna notice that shit, man? Yeah, the other fucking California surfer motherfucker Zell, who was annoying and shit. He didn't do much in this damn game. He was just a pain in the ass up in this bitch. Then you had the annoying Japanese anime girl selfie and shit like that. You know, the one that should be like raped by a tentacle monster and shit like that. Annoying as shit. Annoying the entire fucking game. And then who was the other characters up in this motherfucker? Yeah, his teacher or whatever. She was just kind of like this mopey son of a bitch. She didn't really give a fuck about anything. That one dude, Irvine, who was like a fucking cowboy shooter, whatever that stupid shit is. Oh god, that was a bunch of crap in this motherfucker. But anyway, besides the characters, the gameplay was excellent. People complained about, oh, this Guardian Force shit is so hard. No, it's not. It was confusing at first, I'll give you that. But once you got the hang of the motherfucker, you realize how powerful this shit is, man. You basically fucked shit up from the beginning of the game. One of the cool tricks was Ifrit, or whatever you want to call this motherfucker, he had one of the best powers where you can increase your strength exponentially. So every time you rank up, you get more in your strength. So basically, after you rank up like whatever the hell it was a ridiculous amount of power that you could have with that swing. You put it on Squall, forget it. It's game over. At one point in the game, I remember I was doing 4,000 points of damage, and my other characters were still doing single digits. I'll never forget. I was like, damn, I ranked this motherfucker up the perfect goddamn way. That was absolutely brilliant. I love playing that shit. And here we go. About to see, is this him? This him, right? No, what the fuck? Oh, come on. I thought this was damn evil. I forgot what the fuck it is, man. I haven't played this shit in so goddamn long. Did they put this on PlayStation Network? I think they put this on PlayStation Network, man. Anyway, man, I played this shit for the longest fucking time, you know, and I like playing my Final Fantasy games. I played Final Fantasy VII like at least 10, 15 times. I played this one probably a good 5 or 6 times and shit like that. But anyway, people complain about the Guardian Force was so fucking hard to use. It was a little confusing. It wasn't that fucking hard, but it was smart. If you know how to rank your characters up, it was very easy to use. That was the best part about this fucking game, man. It's like you had to actually pay attention to how you were ranking up in this motherfucker. I mean, if they at least gave a non-emo teenager, the game probably would have been a little bit more appealing. There he is. There's the badass motherfucker. Now you gotta beat him with all his stupid ass fireballs and meteor showers and all that shit that he throws at you. I remember this damn shit. No, one of the look at that son of a, look at the size of that son of a bitch. Don't he look like he's straight out of like Diablo and shit? Don't he? You know what I'm talking about? And look, they're gonna use all their guardian forces. And then you see like a countdown. So now we're gonna have a whole bunch of guardian forces pop in this motherfucker. Who was the first one coming out? Was it that? Oh, it's Shiva. So you had all kinds of shit. Oh, you couldn't even do the power. That shit was so fucking annoying. You see that little shit on the bottom? He's pressing the square button because he has to increase the amount of power that she'll hit this son of a bitch with. So anyway, man, you'll notice all this crap in a second. So play this game for the longest ass time. You get to the end, and one of the problems that I have with the end of this shit is the main enemy doesn't come until all the way into the end. I mean, you basically have to wait almost this entire game. I would probably say maybe 80% of the game until you finally find the final enemy, and then at the last second this random motherfucker pops out and he's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna fight you too, and you were like, what the fuck is this bullshit? So that was one of the big problems that people had with this game. Obviously coming after Final Fantasy VII, that shit was some bullshit, having to follow that motherfucker. Now I remember when I first saw this game, they Square Enix used to like to release previews of games. They used to like to do demos and shit like that. So there was this one game that they had ahead of time. It was called Brave Fencer Musashi and shit like that. And if you bought Brave Fencer Musashi, you got Final Fantasy VIII demo on the disc. I went out and I bought Brave Fencer Musashi just so I could play the demo to this, because obviously Final Fantasy VII was one of the greatest games when you played it back in the day. So I was like, yeah, I want to play that shit. I want to play the demo on this motherfucker. So I went out and I bought. Nigga, now he gonna kick their ass. So I went out and I bought Brave Fencer Musashi in this motherfucker, and then I played the demo like 15 or 20 times. I didn't even bother playing Brave Fencer Musashi. I think I finally played that shit like maybe like 5 or 6 months after I bought the game, because I was just playing the demo. I was like, man, I can't wait for this fucking game to come out. I can't wait to get my hands on this motherfucker. You know, and then it finally came out, and it took me a while to adjust to it, but this was an excellent, underrated Final Fantasy game. It really was. I mean, anybody out there who enjoyed the Final Fantasy series will agree with me on that, that this was not given its proper due, basically because it came behind Final Fantasy VII in this motherfucker, and also because you had those damn emo teenagers. But like I said, man, Final Fantasy games are pretty much the reason why I bought the early PlayStation consoles. Final Fantasy VII was the reason why I bought PlayStation 1. Final Fantasy X is the reason why I bought PlayStation 2. And then obviously PlayStation 3, I just moved on my own. You know, we didn't get a fucking decent Final Fantasy game. But obviously, we haven't had a good Final Fantasy game in a long fucking time. And I know that we just had the whole E3 conference, and we have, you know, Final Fantasy 15 is coming up, and they even mentioned that they're going to be doing, did he just do it? Did he do the right? I didn't even pay attention to the damn Junction shit. Son of a bitch. I was supposed to pay attention to that motherfucker. No, but anyway, you know, E3, they announced the whole new, whatchamacallit, they announced the whole, new Final Fantasy up in this motherfucker, and then they've already said, oh, we're gonna have plenty of sequels to it. It's like, no, don't fucking do sequels in this bitch. I don't need no damn sequels, man. Don't do no more fucking sequels. Just do a good game and leave it at that. That's it. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. No sequels. Just leave a good fucking game. So for some reason they're gonna roll out a goddamn sequel already to Final Fantasy 15, and the game hasn't even been released. I'm just like, come on, man. How you gonna do that shit? And now he gotta fight his way out this damn cave and do all this stupid shit. So you gonna call the motherfucker in? No, you're not gonna call him. Yeah, call the motherfucker in. No, you gotta. Oh, okay. Yeah, now he wants to show it off. He wants to show off all three of his guardian forces in this motherfucker. Now this shit right here is overkill. Basically, I see what he's doing. He's waiting just to show the motherfucker off, because obviously if he would have hit that stupid little bat shit with a weapon or a power or something, would have been dead in a minute. So now he's gonna call the motherfucker in. There he is, all big and badass and shit like that. Straight out of Diablo in this motherfucker. Or maybe Diablo stole off of him. I don't fucking know. Look at that shit, man. He just have a fucking gigantic ass fireball come out the damn ground. He gonna bat that shit like a volleyball, and it's gonna kill that shit with some overkill in this motherfucker. Man, you need like 100 points to kill it. And he 77 points? 77 fucking points? That's all it did? Oh, because you gotta do the boost in this bitch. Look, and it still died. Look at that delayed death. Ain't that some bullshit? Hey, man, how's the graphics? What they look like fucking 10, 15, 12 years ago, whatever the fuck this game came out, man. Anyway, this sucks. I only had 9.5 minutes to talk about goddamn Final Fantasy. But anyway, as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I enjoyed doing this video. I gotta tell you, I enjoyed doing this Final Fantasy video, but goddamn it, man, I feel like I got ripped off doing only 9.5 minutes.